That's unique to that gameplay mode. And of course, zombies is a whole other thing altogether. So,
right,
so right
look
there.
at this.
So
Yeah.
he just decided he wanted to take over one of the ground drones here, and he's driving it, and he's gonna fight with it. So there he is. And he's got some heavy caliber weaponry.
What
he's
did
going
you
up
call?
against the
What did
claw.
you call that walker? The claw.
The claw. That's the cognitive land assault weapon.
Got it.
Right.
Okay.
It's a quadped. It's basically a mini tank. Right. Now, later on, when we get one of those dropped, I want him to take over that as well, because you can take over all these things. I think one of my favorite things to play is the quad. So as soon as that one comes online, I want him to take over the quad. So he's back into Overwatch mode. He's taking account of the situation. He's setting up his next battle here at C.
So I have a question. Could you play one of these without ever going into first-person perspective?
We're going to drop you into first-person perspective, then you can pop out into Overwatch mode and play the whole thing from a strategic point of view.
Got it,
like
okay.
the commander on the battlefield.
Absolutely.
You can move in between each of these different layers at any time. I think that's the beauty of this. We really wanted to give players some new kind of gameplay inside of Call of Duty, allowing them to open up, play with all the. I mean, at this point in the game, you've been exposed to all these toys.
Yeah.
This is now your time to go and play.
this
So
is
now you're
dirty
playing the
right
quad.
now.
He's flying it. He's fighting with it. I love flying this around.
So now
taking
he's
out
in.
baddies.
This is one of the quad rotors.
That's right. So he's going to go look for some bad guys.
Yeah. So
There they
this
are.
is,
There's some bad
these
guys
guys
right
are going
here.
to get wrecked.
Yeah, they're going to have problems. Okay, so they're bringing in their reinforcements.
Yep. I'm curious, if you brought some real heavy firepower to bear right now, could you take out their chopper?
Yeah, you can take out their chopper if you brought
Holy
some
cow.
heavy firepower. I want to show you as much as I can on this. So at some point here, what I want to do is I want to put you inside of a claw as well, just
One
to
of the
show
claws,
you.
Yeah.
I mean, and there it is. It's down there murdering some fools right there. All right, where are you? There you are, Jason. We got Jason playing this.
And then
This has a heavy caliber weapon there. Oh, there you go.
where on the screen can we see sort of how he's doing towards his goal?
Well, you have your
You're
three
getting your
objectives.
audio cues,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You got your audio cues. You have your three objectives here. In this case, each of these levels will have unique objectives. They're not going to be the same thing.
Right.
This is Singapore. The objective on this one is literally, so you see he's launching some grenades over there, taking some guys out. He has different weapons on this. And again, he's controlling it, right? So we're talking about there's flying, there's controlling ground-based vehicles, there's different kinds of weaponry. He can move between different people on his squad.
Right.
He could go into Overwatch mode. He can do it. He can move between all those levels at any time that he wants. So he's got the heavy here. He's got his LMG. He's rolling now with this.
So you guys are sort of out spec opsing Spec Ops. Do you plead the fifth, Mark Lamia? Because that's fine if you. That's fine if you do.
This is a totally
leave that-
original mode. Dude, what do you like?
Leave that.
This is a totally
shit
original
talk to
mode.
me. I got you covered. Yeah, all of this stuff. So you can play this as an RTS almost.
If you wanted to,
If
you
you
could
were
do it that
so
way.
inclined.
If you were so inclined.
If you
I like
loved
to use it.
playing
If you
boring Call of Duty and didn't want to.
Look, you know what I like doing? I like getting the lay of the land and then figuring out. The thing is that you have all these different things on the battlefield, all these different toys.
Yeah.
Figuring out which one I want to go play, which one gives me the best tactical advantage, or which one's the most fun to play, and then I can move into that, right? So right now he's in the quad, but he could back out of this.
So as he
and choose which one of these, which one of your Black Ops team you can go in on.
And next
right?
time, I remember you mentioned something about when you play through the campaign, you may have the choice of which
that's right
way to go. So you may play through this on one run through the campaign and not on the next.
Well, it is possible that will happen. It's also possible that he'll fail, right? At some point when he's moving in on his troops and he's playing them, at some point reinforcements are going to stop coming in.
Right.
And if you don't take the objectives, it's game over. For the first time in a Call of Duty level, you've failed. Now you can go back and play the entire level, or the narrative is going to take account of that situation. The proxy war has been lost.
Yeah.
The narrative will continue. It'll just take note of that, and then it'll affect what's available to you in terms of the proxy war conflicts as you move forward in that campaign.
So even through a mission fail on these, the campaign continues, but it takes into account that you sucked it up on a strike force, and that may affect your campaign path or your ending, maybe character lives, stuff like that.
It affects this particular thread affects the Cold War arc
Yeah.
in the game that's taking place in the year 2025. So this particular, there are different threads. As I told you, we have story branching, right? This plays into that, but in particular, it's focused on that geopolitical arc of the game.
I take it that was a good thing that just happened.
That was a good thing right here. He stopped that. We're going to call it an airstrike now and bring this thing down.
Good job. Right off camera, we've got a hired gun from Treyarch just murdering his way through this Strike Force mission.
There you go.
Oh, here we go.
Bring it in. And that cargo's not leaving
There you go, yeah.
the Singapore docks.
Wow. Good job. Job well done, shooter. Yeah, that's impressive. So let's drive home a couple things real quick, because people, are starting to see, more and more of Black Ops 2. Let's just reinforce for them that the campaign, because you've done this for me, is totally different balance-wise for multiplayer. So, if you're stressing about having an X-ray sniper rifle, because you saw it in the campaign missions, you shouldn't be, because somewhere David Vonderhaar is behind his desk figuring out how to make stuff like that work or not.
Absolutely.
That's what he does.
Absolutely. You guys know us from Black Ops. We have our own balancing pass on weapons and technology. You can be sure that that's happening. The only thing you've seen in this game is the campaign. You haven't seen the multiplayer. You haven't seen the zombies. And you can't assume that what you've seen here is exactly what you're going to be seeing in there. And in fact, it won't be. We're going to have a ton of new stuff. Things that you haven't seen. You got to imagine all the technology that the multiplayer guys can take advantage of, and that the balance and the care that goes into that. It's different when you're in, when you're in the campaign. You're playing against AI, and it's a different. The setups are different. We have these sandbox. Even this here, people have asked me, is this multiplayer? It's like, no, this is unique to the campaign.
Well, I'm with these guys. I like to glean what I can about the other modes from whatever you guys are showing. So I'm looking at all the guns. I'm excited for trying to decipher what you're going to include in multiplayer. But obviously, we have to withhold judgment.
You guys are going to have to wait. You're going to have to wait, and you just got to know, man, balance in multiplayer and weapons. We put so much time and attention into that for you guys. It's the lifeblood. It's what you guys are going to hopefully be playing all year long.
All right, well, I'm excited to see more of this stuff. Zombies, people are rabid about zombie intel. So as soon as you got something in the, along the zombie line, give us a ring, Mark. Thanks for coming by the booth.
On my mark, 3, 2, 1.